best remaining free agents. We've talked too much today, so we don't have a whole lot of time. Chris, you're up first. Best remaining free agents 2021. Go.
Well, listen, there's injury concern here, right? We know that. I don't know if this is anything that's going to happen anytime soon, but it's a guy that's 28 years old and still has tremendous upside. Now, it's a weird year. I don't know, but Jadeveon Clowney is still going to be one of the top guys out there for my money. I mean, yeah, it's a position that we know has great importance in the NFL, an edge rusher, an edge defender all together. He's extremely versatile. Yeah, there's the injury risk and all of that. I don't know what he's asking for money-wise. I would imagine we're going to be in another one-year deal type of thing, but Clowney just too much of a physical freak to not make him number one, at least for me right now.
Or wait like he did last year.
Yeah.
Remember, there was the Jadeveon Clowney derby near the end of the year as teams figured out how best to properly fit him under a salary cap. Although remember last year one of the problems was teams couldn't bring him in and kick the tires and take a look. They can this year, given where the pandemic currently is. I'll go Mitchell Schwartz, cut by the Chiefs, multiple-time All-Pro, not just Pro Bowler, but All-Pro. Salary cap move. He's out there. He's available. Bring him in. Check him out if he's healthy. He's a guy that you need on your offensive line, period. I'm still surprised that the Chiefs moved on from him.
I am too. You know, it's one of those where it makes you wonder how serious is the back? What is the absolute, issue there? I thought about taking him number one too. I got a little scared, I guess, with that aspect of it all. I'm going to throw out Melvin Ingram, another edge defender. Again, I think his days of being a superstar, yeah, they're over. I understand that. And I know he was hurt a little last year too. But again, I think like Clowney, it's too much of a physical freak, and there's too much good that I've seen on film over the last few years for me just to give up on a guy like that. Now, again, it might have to be about the market correcting itself and that kind of thing. But I think for somebody who signs up Melvin Ingram, defense and outside linebacker, can do everything, takes on the run, can rush the passer. For me, he's one of the guys I got to take here. He's still a damn good player.
I'm going to stay with the offensive line, and I'm surprised Alejandro Villanueva remains unclaimed by anyone.
Mm-hmm.
A guy who has a great leadership background from his time in the military and rose up gradually and consistently to become a key contributor on the Steelers' offensive line. There was a time not that long ago where the Steelers' offensive line was horrible, then it became very good, and Villanueva was one of the main reasons for it. I'm surprised a week in he's still available when we consider the importance of, we can look at the Super Bowl and say pass rush is so critical. We can also look and say blocking is pretty critical too, because the Chiefs were completely overmatched that day. So surprising that Villanueva is still available. I thought the Broncos would find a spot for him somewhere because Mike Munchak, the former offensive line coach in Pittsburgh, is now in Denver.
Yeah, no, I hear you. It is surprising that nobody has gobbled him up yet. Again, the thing that was concerning just watching him and evaluating him a little bit, there is a little slippage in play. It's just there was a few too many times where you see him get pushed back into the quarterback's face. He's such a tall guy. He has a hard time getting low and driving people out in the run game a little bit. Maybe those are the concerns, let alone the age. And, again, I think a lot of these, like, veteran guys who have played.
He's an old-timer. 32. That
I know
is old.
32. I know. That's what's crazy in the NFL. That's what's crazy. But I think a lot of these old-timers and these guys, though, are – they're going to sit back and kind of just get a feel for the market and where can I go and where's my needed and all of those type of things. I'm going to go with T.Y. Hilton here next. I don't think there's a better receiver on the market as we sit here right now. Last year he wasn't 100%. He played in, I think he played in 15 games, but I don't think he was totally 100% in a good amount of them, but still has like ability to where I go, ooh, I'd want him on my team. I'd want him as one of my three receivers right now. He still can win on the outside, can play the slot, has explosive ability still to make big plays down the field too. So I'll go with T.Y. Hilton as my third pick.
I'll go Carlos Dunlap with my last one. He was cut in a cap move by the Seahawks. He's out there. I know there's a lot of pass rushers that have been signed. Well, there's some that haven't been. You mentioned Clowney earlier. I think Dunlap, another guy that teams have to take seriously. Part of the dynamics at this point may simply be when you call the agent and you ask what the player's looking for, the team just says, okay, see ya. And they're waiting for the expectations to
low.
drop.
Right.
And the passage of time will eventually cause guys to take less. And this was something Shereen Williams suggested before free agency started. Will there be guys who just either wait until September or just say, I'll wait till next year? I think there's a real risk, though, in taking a year off. The game moves on without you. And it's not like you're going to find more money next year. Unless you're a superstar, you're not going to find more money next year if you consciously sit out this year simply because the cap's down.
Agreed. I think you're doing yourself a disservice. You might be able to get away with that as a college kid, like we saw Jamar Chase and some of those guys, because they're still, like, physically going in the upward direction. It's no big deal. But once you've gone, like, through 5 or 6 years in the NFL, you're going in the other direction. And now you only have a certain amount of years left in your playing career. So to sit out does not make sense. But, yeah, I think you make a good point. Hey, I had Kareem Jackson, this casualty from the Broncos. I maybe should have picked him. Olivier Vernon, another edge guy who's real good. And I even think Malcolm Butler and Ndamukong Suh, there's some guys out there that still can help a lot of football teams.
A.J. Bouye still floating around.
Yeah, that's right.
Did you mention KJ Wright?
I did not.
Seahawks,
he's still out there
linebacker.
Too.
He's available too. So still plenty of great guys. More than a week since the market opened, and there'll be plenty of activity. There's been a few moves today, just as the show's been on.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.